Thank you. Wow, the lights here. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me. Today, for the next 15 minutes, I will be walking you through the Kärcher AI journey. And in there, we'll explore how Kärcher's evolution went, leveraging AI for today's operational excellence. Before we get started, I would like to introduce myself. Most of you do know me. My name is Margarita Vaquer Melo. I work as an AI transformation consultant at Zoe. Zoe is a German consultant. We've been awarded Partner of the Year, so we're very proud of that. And we've been helping different companies around the globe in their digital and AI transformation. So let's get started. In case you don't know who is Kärcher, and I mispronounce it because I'm not German, you might know them by their very famous high water pressure machines. That's the most famous product. And we can divide their business into two big business units. We have the retail products for your home and gardens. And then they also have their professional products, right? Where they have the right solution for every industry. Where are they located? They're a worldwide company with more than 50,000 sales and services locations and almost 900 Kärcher centers globally. So they are a pretty big and important company around the world. And they also have 18, and I hope I'm not covering this, they also have 18 production and logistics locations around the world. So how did we manage to make such a big and important company around the world get into the AI to the point that we have Mr. Jenner, who's the CEO at Kärcher, saying, I save 1 hour per day due to Gemini for Google Workspace. This is a very nice quote to put in a slide in such a big stage, but it was actually something he said when he was interviewed in December 2024 for a very important newspaper in Germany. So how did we get there, right? They've been talking, my colleagues before, about how important it is, the change management, and how important it is having the CEO and the C-level on board. So I was very honored with having the challenge of being the project manager in charge of doing this rollout in such a company. So I'll try to walk you through how we did it as a team in order to get to this number. Because if we think 1 hour per day of the CEO of such a big company, if we multiply that in weekly, it's 5 hours. And if we extrapolate that to a year, we're almost having one more extra month of a CEO every year. So this is a very, very important number. So I really like this sandbox analogy because I don't know how many of you have kids. I don't, but I have nephews and nieces. So if you kind of know how they play, if you have your kids playing in a sandbox with some tools or toys in this case, and you ask them to start collaborating differently, to think outside the box and play different, if they've been playing like this for the past month, they will probably not listen to you, right? They will keep on playing as they've been playing and they are having fun. Why would they change? But what if you put right next to that sandbox a different sandbox with different toys and different tools? Then it's easier that they start collaborating differently, that they start growing and doing other things and thinking literally outside the box. So this is exactly how we did it at Kärcher. We included, the good thing is that it's not that we took something away, we just gave them this Gemini, this new AI tool, so that they could incorporate it in their daily work. And that's how we got into those big numbers. And it is a story that has 3 layers, right? Every company, especially if it's a manufacturing company, you have the technology. Here, the foundation would be the data. If you know a little bit about AI, you would know how important data is. So of course, in there, we had to clean up our foundations. Then we have the middle level, which is where the processes are standing. In here, we talk about automation and AI adoption. And then on the top level, in my opinion, we have the most important one, right? Because you can have the best technology, the best data, but if you don't have the right people that know how to use those technologies, then there's no way it can work. And that is how we did a big change management effort there with communication. We did it top down and bottom up. Let me tell you something. The day we got most prompts at Kärcher was the day we had our Mr. Yene with a Gemini t-shirt talking to the rest of the company and saying how much he loved the tool. So this change management is super, super important in order to make people adopt these technologies. And the good thing about Kärcher, something that helped us and helped me as a PO, was that they had two waves. So a couple of years before, including Gemini, they had already went through the Google Workspace transformation. So they went from Microsoft to Google Workspace. And in there was a big change management effort, of course, trainings, listening to the people, and so on. And then when Gemini came, of course, they had to readapt, to relearn stuff, but they were already on the track of change management. They were already used on adapting new tools and growing on top of them and leveraging from that. And all the story is very nice, but what about numbers? I am a data-driven lady, so I brought you some numbers to show how impactful this project was and actually currently is, because this is not over. This is a never-ending project. So let me show you how a Gemini powered every single one at this company. So in these graphs, you can see that in a month, we've received more than 500,000 prompts. Prompt is whenever you type in your instruction to the AI, so that's a prompt. And here we can see how they are distributed around the different applications of Google. Of course, the Gemini app, which is the Gemini chatbot, is the one that received most prompts, which is great. That's what we expected. Then we had a great number in Meet, Drive, Slides, and in the next slides, you will see how this trend is growing month per month. So here you can see how much the penetration of Gemini and AI is in the company around different like subsidiaries or regional areas. And you can see it's not always the same. Right now, our target is to get to 80%. This means 80% of the workforce in Kärcher will use Gemini on their daily bags. And some entities were already there, in others no. And let me tell you something. We deep dived into these numbers and we can see there's a big, big impact when we see the C-level involved because people have someone to look up for. And then this is the one I like the most because here you can see the evolution over the months and you can see how month over month we are growing. Of course, we can do better. Yeah, of course. But this is a whole mindset change. Like here, we're probably all techies and we are using it, but you need to make a company of 15,000 employees use this technology every day. I am very, very happy with these numbers and impressed. But what about other use cases? So it was very nice. Yeah, everyone is using Gemini in their daily app, in Google, Gmail, Meets, Slides, and so on. But Google has even other products that are on top of Gemini, and this one is Notebook LM. 2 presentations ago, you saw a great presentation, so I'm not going to deep dive into this. But this is a use case that has gotten a very, very big impact in Kärcher because Kärcher is a great company, has a lot of history, and they have a lot of very loyal employees that have been in that company for the past 20, 30 years. And they're lucky enough that they are soon to retire. So what we've done at Kärcher, we've given and we've trained these people that have a lot of knowledge how to use Notebook LM. And they are including and directly feeding those chatbots with their own knowledge so that whoever comes afterwards, whenever this person is calmly playing with their grandkids, the person that's coming after, they know where to ask the questions and they know where to find the answers. So we're not losing this person's knowledge. Okay, we're feeding our company and everyone is growing on top of that. But Kärcher didn't stop here, and they went one step further. So they're not using AI only in their computers, also people in the factories are using AI. So how do you make a worldwide company that has production plants integrate with AI and get empowered with that? Let's imagine for a second how a plant, like basic plant works, right? You have the floor factory, they do their work, then you have purchasing, and then you have sustainability, all great teams, but each one works in their own box, right? Like silos, which is totally normal. But what if you can integrate agents in each one of these steps and they can communicate between each other? So in this case, Fazad, who's walking around the factory, fixing machines, using different products and stuff, at the end of each shift, it says, okay, create orders for all items that are below the threshold. This goes directly to its agent that it's in its tablet, or it could also be in their phone. And this directly triggers the orders. Not only it checks, okay, what are the products, the suppliers that are under the threshold, but it directly generates the order that goes to purchasing Paula. In the background, everything is connected into BigQuery. So it's fast, it's easy. There's no emailing going back and forwards, chats connecting. If there's a misspelling in Fazad, the chatbot would automatically say, maybe this is not measured in kilograms, it's measuring gallons. Are you sure you want to use kilograms, and so on? And that Paula, sitting in her nice desk, probably even in a different city, not even in the same city, she gets the right information, and she has her own agent that is also connected to the factory agent. And in there, she can make the purchases, compare prices, check other different suppliers on the internet, check their risks, and so on. And then you connect that with sustainability. And so imagine how powerful this can be. So before I run out of time, if you want to see how you can integrate these AI solutions into your own company, come visit us. We will be happy to help you out in your journey. And before I finish, my name is Margarita Vaquer Melo. We are at the booth right next to the main stage. So if you have any question, me or anyone from our team will be super happy to discuss this. There are no impossibles for us. So just come right, tell us what's your story, and we'll see how we can help you. Thank you for listening.